just like a woman.
Yeah, LTTV, Blunt Talk with LT, back at it with another video. All right. So we got some tall fabrications here, some tall tales. Yikes, let's get into this one. All right, so Meg Thee Stallion, instead of handling her business in court, she went to convict Tory Lanez in the court of public opinion. That's what she did. We're going to get into this video. We have the transcripts. We're reacting to the transcripts. But before we get to that, we're going to get to the interview she did with Gayle King and her other statements regarding the incident of her allegedly being shot by Tory Lanez. So we're going to get all her stories, including the court transcripts. So we're not dealing with any opinions here. We're just getting right into the facts. So let's get into it. From what I'm seeing here, it's kind of fuckery, because Tory Lanez has to witness this and sit at home like,
I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
and he's not allowed to speak. Tory Lanez speaks on the matter, says anything regarding the case, he gets arrested. He has to bond out. They raised his bail to $350,000 last time because he said something in the slightest in regarding to the case. So let's get into this shit. The transcript is a long video we're getting into. It's not even a video. It's just an audio. There's a YouTuber that found the transcripts and reads it. We're going to get into the reaction where she reads the transcripts. But first, let's get into this shit. See, it's easy to do this shit because he can't say anything. So she could run around the internet doing this shit.
What are you doing? I'm posting false information on the web. Why? It's fun. Someone picks up a strand of false information, spreads it around, and before you know it, a panic is created. Then you just sit back and watch the chaos.
She has all her fans going in on Tory Lanez, doing all sorts of shaming tactics, saying you are a abuser, you're X, Y, and Z if you believe anything Tory Lanez says, or if you don't believe Meg. Pretty much that's what they're saying. And it's like, whoa, hold on. There's inconsistencies in the case. We're not trying to gaslight. We're not trying to just call people out of their name for no reason, but it's like, you capping. So let's get into this.
There was an argument in the car?
It was an argument because I was ready to go and everybody...
There was an argument in the car?
It was an argument because I was ready to go and everybody else wasn't ready to go. Mm-hmm. But that's like normal friend stuff. Like, we fuss about silly stuff all the time. Mm-hmm.
Hey, yo, y'all hit that goddamn like button.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Looking at these likes. Let's get these likes up. Let's get it.
But I never put my hands on anybody. I never raised my voice too loud. Like, this was one of them times where it was like, it shouldn't have got this crazy.
It shouldn't have escalated to the
right
way that it did.
So I get out the car and it's like everything happens so fast. And all I hear is this man screaming. He said, "Dance, bitch."
What? Stop the cap.
And he started shooting, and I'm just like, oh my God. Like, he shot a couple of times. Mm-hmm. And I
so
was
is
so
he
scared.
In the car, shooting from the car, Megan?
He is standing up over the window, shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I didn't even want to move. I didn't want to move.
So we're going to see a bunch of Meg's IG lives of her speaking about this, because she came to Gayle King on national television and she brought the tears that refused to leave her eyes, but she brought them
too quick, like, because I'm like, oh my God, if I take the wrong step, I'm in. Yeah. And I didn't even want to move. I didn't want to move too quick, like, because I'm like, oh my God, if I take the wrong step, I don't know if he can shoot something that's like super important. I don't know if he could shoot me and kill me. Like,
were you afraid for your life at that time?
I was really scared because I had never been shot at before. Mm-hmm. shouldn't have got this crazy.
Shouldn't have escalated to
Right.
the way that it did.
So I get out the car and
This
it's
is
like
the same shit.
everything happens so fast. And all I hear is this man screaming. He said, "Dance, bitch." And he started shooting. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, he shot a couple of times.
We
And
heard
I
this whole-
was so
he
scared. Any of
This
us.
is a bigger version.
Or shoot any of us.
Were
Here
you
we go.
afraid for your life at that
I was
time?
really scared because I had never been shot at before. I didn't want them to kill any of us, or shoot any of us. So I just said I stepped on glass because I didn't.
Why did you say that? Why didn't you say
don't-
he shot me?
I didn't. For some reason, I was just trying to protect all of us because I didn't want them to kill us. Like, even though this person just did this to me, my first reaction still was to try to save us. Like, I didn't want to see anybody die. I didn't want them.
Yeah.
What else? What happened?
So pretty much she's saying she was shot by Tory. This is what she's saying. She got back in the car, and then when they got pulled over by the cops because she was scared of the cops shooting them, she lied and said she stepped on glass.
In text messages obtained by CBS News, Kelsey
Hold on, y'all.
Anybody die? I didn't want them.
Yeah.
What else? What happened?
In text messages obtained by CBS News, Kelsey Harris, the other woman in the car, texted Megan's security guard saying, "Help, Tory shot Meg."
I really thought that we were all friends. And sometimes I feel like I put the blame on myself because when my mom passed, I just felt like I was looking for some type of family environment, and I was letting so many people in, and I didn't care who it was. I just wanted to feel like
Hold on, y'all. Are we getting some delay?
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Nah, I spent the last several days ironing this shit out, so let's get it, man.
family, and I got people that care about me.
Yeah. Dating? What was the nature
We
of
were
your...
not dating. We
What was
were really close. We were friends. We hung out like every day. And his mom passed too. So when I felt like we were bonding over that. And
Did you have an intimate relationship with him?
sexual?
Yeah. Did you, Megan, did you have a sexual relationship with Tory Lanez? Yes, that's my question.
I didn't have a sexual relationship with Tory.
So why do you... Megan, did you have a sexual relationship with Tory Lanez? Yes, that's my question.
I didn't have a sexual relationship with Tory.
Stop it. Get some help.
Okay, so now we're rewriting history. She took a long time to answer that question, but let's get into it. We have a lot of shit here.
So why do you... Dating? What was the nature
We
of
were
your...
not dating. We
What was
were
it?
really close.
Hold on.
I didn't have a sexual relationship with Tory.
So why do you... Dating? What was the nature
We were
of your...
not dating. We
What was
were
the-
really close.
Dating? What was the nature
We
of
were
your...
not dating. We
What was
were
the-
really close. We were friends.
Come to find out, your ass was fucking with a nigga behind my back that I was on first. And that ain't right, because you supposed to be my best friend. We laugh at bitches that do that shit to each other. We not supposed to do that shit to each other. So stop playing with me. And I don't want to go back and forth on the internet. I don't want no, I don't care whatever you think you got on me. Expose the shit. Because there's nothing that you can expose that I won't hold myself accountable for. Accountability. You need to learn how to hold yourself accountable for shit. This shit, I don't even know why it's going this far. I don't understand to this day, y'all. Y'all ask me these questions. I don't have the answers. I don't have the fucking answers. Because people don't know how to be mature and talk like adults. Y'all can't say that I ain't trying to have no real conversation. Y'all can't say that. And really, I'm not the one that should have been having, y'all should have been having conversations with me. Y'all owe me a fucking conversation.
I was shot in both of my feet
I was shot in both of my feet, and I had to get surgery to get the shit taken out, get the bullets taken out. And it was super scary.
Now, this is from summer 2020, right after she got out of surgery. And she was getting that, you know what? I'm not going to say nothing. Let's play out. Because we have one more video of her getting aggressive when speaking about this, where she wasn't getting emotional. And she gave a different rendition of the story. We're going to get into the transcripts shortly. I'm not trying to shit on anybody. We're just dealing with the facts here.
But yeah, I had to get surgery. It was super scary. It was like just the worst experience of my life. And it's not funny. There's nothing to joke about. It was nothing for y'all to start going and making up fake stories about. I didn't put my hands on nobody. I didn't deserve to get shot. I didn't do shit. Like, and thank God that the bullets didn't touch bones. They didn't break tendons. Like, I know my mama, my daddy, my granny had to be looking out for me with that one, because where the bullets hit at, it missed everything. But the motherfuckers was in there.
Yes, this nigga Tory shot me. You shot me. And you got your publicists and your people going to these blogs lying and shit. Stop lying. Why lie? I don't understand. I tried to keep the situation off the internet, but you dragging it. You really fucking dragging it.
What?
Stop the cap.
All right, so Tory's not allowed to speak about the case at all. And it would be in his best interest to not speak on it. When you're going through any type of legal proceedings like this, the lawyers will tell you to not speak on it. You'll just put things out that may contradict or will be used against you in your case. So this is ridiculous. Right? Deshaun Rivers says he couldn't even speak at that time. She's just capping. She's trying to control the narrative, and she's trying to get everybody to feel sorry for her. It's like, handle this in court. You're trying to convict him. The damage that they've already done to his career is ridiculous, and now she wants to do more because the trial's coming up, and there's rumors that she's not taking the stand during the trial. So she's trying to convict him in the court of public opinion because it doesn't seem like it's a winning trial for them. The evidence. All right, let's get into it. Let's listen to the transcript before I start barring this down.
Motherfuckers talking about, I hit this nigga. I never hit you. Motherfuckers was like, oh, she mad because he was trying to fuck with Kylie. No, I wasn't. Like, you dry shot me. Like, everybody in the car, it's only 4 motherfuckers in the car. Me, you, my homegirl, and your security. Everybody in the car arguing. I'm in the front seat. This nigga in the back seat. I get out the car. I'm done arguing. I don't want to argue no more. I get out. I'm walking away. This nigga from out the back seat of the car started shooting me. You shot me.
All right, so that was from a reaction I did a while ago, but I cut that shit up. But yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, she didn't say anything about dance bitch or nothing in her first statements about him allegedly shooting her. That shit got added for extra sympathy. Let's get into the transcripts because there's a lot here in the transcripts. Shout out to this young lady for finding the transcripts. I couldn't find this anywhere.
The occupants were removed with respect to the female identity. So, once all of the occupants were removed with respect to the female identified as Megan, did you observe any injuries on her? I did. What injuries did you observe? She was bleeding from her right foot. Did you do some type of inspection of the interior of the SUV? I did. Did you find anything in the front passenger seat area where the defendant was located? Objection. That's coming from Sean Hollis. She said that's leading. The witness said I did, as the court yelled overruled. Kathy Toss said, what did you find? There was an olive green handgun on the floorboard of the front passenger seat. Could you repeat that one more time? There was an olive green handgun on the floorboard of the front passenger seat. Was this a semi-automatic firearm? Yes, it was. Did you inspect the gun any further as far as rendering it safe? Yes, I did. As you were rendering it safe, what did you notice about that firearm? The firearm was warm to the touch. Anything else about the position in which the firearm was in at the time that you observed it? It was in the slide lock position. Is there anything significant about that? There is. The firearm to us shows us that the firearm had been used. Was there a magazine inside the automatic firearm? There was. The female.
Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna get this on a clearer audio. I don't like the way this audio is coming up. I'll make sure this shit is more clear. Give me a second, y'all. The transcripts are very important. So she's reading the documents from the. I don't even know where to actually find this myself. I'm definitely gonna have to double source this and double check what's going on with this, because I want to read this for myself to verify everything that she's reading is correct in this transcript. Everybody has a mind of their own. They could interpret whatever they hear from what we're seeing in the case for themselves. I'm not trying to convince anybody of what's going on. I'm just here speaking on what we know as the facts. So let's get into this. Let me open this on a better file so this shit runs smoother.
So, once all of the occupants were removed with respect to the female identified as Megan, did you observe any injuries on her? I did. What injuries did you observe? She was bleeding from her right foot. Did you do some type of inspection of the interior of the SUV? I did. Did you find anything in the front passenger seat area where the defendant was located? Objection. That's coming from Sean Hollis. She said that's leading. The witness said I did, as the court yelled overruled. Kathy Toss said, what did you find? There was an olive green handgun on the floorboard of the front passenger seat. Could you repeat that one more time? There was an olive green handgun on the floorboard of the front passenger seat. Was this a semi-automatic firearm? Yes, it was. Did you inspect the gun any further as far as rendering it safe? Yes, I did. As you were rendering it safe, what did you notice about that firearm? The firearm was warm to the touch. Anything else about the position in which the firearm was in at the time that you observed it? It was in the slide lock position. Is there anything significant about that? There is. The firearm to us shows us that the firearm had been used. Was there a magazine inside the automatic firearm? There was. The female, Megan, what was her demeanor at the moment? She was in a panic, frantic. That firearm, was it booked as item number such and such? Yes, it was. The location where you spotted this SUV, about how far was it from where the call shots fired from where it was originated? Approximately a mile. Did you speak with any officers that went to the location of where the call originated? I did. Did you discuss with them whether or not they found or observed any evidence at the scene? Yes. What did they observe? They observed 4 casings, spent casings at the location where the original call came from. What exactly is a spent casing? It's a round that's been fired. What type of firearm was the one that was removed from recovered from the SUV? They said it was a 9mm. They said the spent casings that were found at the location where the call originated, what type of casings were those? The same, 9mm. Was it 4 spent casings that were found at the location?
My bad, y'all. Let's switch this over so this runs smoother. I don't know what the fuck's going on here.
Where the call originated? Yes. Was this a residential area, North Nichols Canyon? Yes, it was. They said the 4 spent casings. Was that booked under item blank? Yes. Thank you. Nothing further for this witness. The court says thank you. And Sean Holly is about to get her turn. Now, I want to stop very, very quickly because I want to remind you of this post. Because if anybody's wondering how the fuck we got here, it's because Tamika Mallory inspired me to go and get the transcripts. What did she say? She said both of them had gunpowder on their hands. Interesting that he left that out. And so Lawyer for Workers was like, bitch, Rolling Stone left it out. I repeated what they said. Don't come over here with that rah-rah shit, hoe. And so Tamika continues to have a conversation in the comments, and she's telling people about these transcripts. Bitch, it was all the rave all around town. The transcripts, the transcripts, the transcripts. I said, well, damn, bitch. Do I need to look at the transcripts, what they say?
Now, see, I don't have a version of the transcripts myself because then I would just read them out without adding all this extra shit. But this is where I got it from. Shout out to this young lady for actually getting the transcripts. The link in the description to her YouTube video. It's not really, it's just video. It's really an audio the same way, but it is what it is. It's in the description. If y'all want to check out her entire upload, it's in the description. Also, y'all want to call in and join the discussion, the link is in the description for the Discord. The Discord is the only way to call into the show, so you got to join the Discord to call in. Now hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Let's get it.
Well, she said, look at this last one right here. She said, lots of conflicting info in the media. If you do find the transcripts, you're looking for a hearing from December 14th, page 66 of 81. Huh. That's what the hell she said right there. So shout out to Tamika Mallory because now I'm finna read every motherfucking page.
God damn.
They said the British are coming. The British are coming. Bitch, so she inspired me to go and figure out what the hell was going on and get into all of this shit. Okay? Now let's get into what Miss Sean Holly started asking this hoe that's on the thing.
Shout out to
LTTV. Break
LTTV.
some shit up, bitch. This should be. Ooh. Okay, so what did Sean Holly say? Let me find my placement. Boom, there you go right there. Your Honor, I don't have questions at this time. I would ask the officer to remain on call. The court said, all right, Officer Cabral, you may step down. However, you will be on call. Call your next witness. Kathy. Those are the people against Tory. Thank you. The people call Officer Stogner. So the clerk said, do you swear right hand to the man that you gonna tell the truth? And the damn officer said, yeah. But I'm gonna go ahead and give you a little spoiler. He might have wanted to say now. Because it sounds like he don't give a damn about his job. That's how it sounded to me. You tell me. Maybe he done got too comfortable. Or something like that. Because y'all know I done already read this. So when I'm reading it, I'm like, damn, you incompetent. I had to give me something to drink. Cold type.
Let's get back to the transcripts.
They said what Bible they swing to. Child, the edited one. So anyway, let's get into this. They said, do you promise to tell the truth? Pinky promised. He was like, yeah. So they was like, spell your name out, letter for letter. So he spelled his name. So this is another direct examination. Kathy Ta said, Detective Stogner, what is your occupation and assignment? He said, I'm a detective with the Los Angeles Police Department. I'm currently assigned to Gang and Narcotics Division. At the time of the investigation, I was assigned to the Hollywood Division Robbery Detective. How long have you been a sworn peace officer? Approximately 15 years. Now, were you assigned lead investigative duties on the shooting incident that occurred back on July 12th of 2020 at about 4:30 in the morning? Yes. Again, that was in the area of North Nichols Canyon Drive. Yes. Is that in the county of Los Angeles? Yes, it is. Now, as a part of your investigation, did you speak with an individual by the first name of Megan, last initial P? Yes. Did you conduct more than one interview with Megan P? Yes. Was there one initially conducted just a few days after this incident on July 16, 2020? Yes. Did you also conduct an interview with her on November 12, 2020? Yes. As to those interviews, what, if anything, did she tell you happened on July 12th of 2020 at 4:30 a.m.? Ms. Holly say objection. That calls for a narrative. The court sustained it. They said just control the examination, Ms. Ty. And so she said, when you spoke with Megan P., did she tell you whether or not anything happened on July 12th of 2020 at 4:30 a.m. on North Nichols Canyon Drive? Yes, she did. Did she tell you who she was with at the time of this incident and when it occurred around that time period? Yes. Who was she with? She was with 3 other individuals. Did she identify those individuals to you? Yes. Did she say who they were? She identified one of them as Tory Lanez or Daystar Peterson, one of her other friends, Kelsey, and then another male who she described as Tory Lanez's bodyguard. So the female Kelsey, did Megan P. tell you what her relationship to Kelsey was? Megan identified Kelsey as her friend. Did she also identify the person she said was Tory Lanez to you through a photo identification? Yes. So was that done on November 12th of 2020? Yes. Your Honor, I have what appears to be one color photograph of an individual. May this be marked People's 1 for identification. People's 1 for identification, photo 1 page. And so it was admitted, so she said thank you. And so they said, may I approach the witness? The court said you may. Kathy Ty said thank you. She said, showing you what's been identified as People's 1. Do you recognize this document? Yes. How do you recognize it? It's an unmarked photograph of the defendant that I printed out. And there appears to be some written notation to the right of that photograph. Is that correct? Correct. What's in the written notation? I wrote 11/12/2020 at 11:15 a.m. Megan P. IDs Tory. So was this the photograph that you showed to Megan P. to see if she could identify the person as Tory? Yes. The person that's depicted in this photograph, do you see him here in court today? Yes. Could you describe where he's located in the courtroom? Yeah, he over there by the defense counsel wearing that white shirt. They said, okay, yeah, that's him over there. So they said, did Miss Megan P. explain to you how it was that she came to be with these individuals at night? Yes. What did she say? Megan and Kelsey originally were at a party in the Hollywood Hills. I would like for you guys to remember that detail. I'm going to read it one more time. Megan and Kelsey originally were at a party in the Hollywood Hills. A party, keyword party. They later met up with Mr. Peterson and his associate. One more time. They later met up with Peterson and his associate. So later in the night, they ultimately were giving Megan and her friend Kelsey a ride home. When you say they, who are you referring to? Tory and his assistant, or his associate, I'm sorry. They said that would be the driver. The driver. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. So what happened next according to Megan? According to Megan, Tory was intoxicated and he ain't want to leave the party. An argument ensued between Megan, Tory, and also her friend Kelsey. I want you guys to commit that fact to detail. To your memory. I'm sorry, that detail to your memory. So he was supposed to be drunk and he didn't want to leave the party. And that's when the argument started. So at some point, Megan asked to get out of the vehicle. The driver complies by stopping the vehicle in the middle of the street, and Megan got out the car. What did Megan say happened next? Megan described her position in the vehicle as seated in the front passenger seat. As she exited the vehicle, she heard Mr. Peterson yelling obscenities at her. And he stated, dance, bitch, and then he began firing the weapon at her. Now, when Megan told you that she was originally in the front passenger seat, she mentioned that she exited the vehicle, correct? Correct. Did Megan indicate at that point whether the other occupants of the vehicle remained in the vehicle? She did indicate something to that effect. They said that she was leaving the vehicle. Did she tell you where she was headed or in what direction she was walking? She was walking away from the vehicle, and her intention was to contact another individual to pick her up. Okay, that was her intention. So as she was walking away from the vehicle, did she tell you if she was walking away towards the rear, past the rear door? Yeah, she was walking away to the rear of the vehicle. As she was walking away, how was it that she became aware that the defendant had made the statement, dance, bitch? She had turned back towards the vehicle and observed Tory holding a firearm, and then she observed him starting to shoot at her. Did she tell you where he was located as he was shooting a firearm at her? She described it as the threshold of the rear passenger door, where she described it kind of where he was half in, half out, standing on the step boards of the vehicle. To her knowledge, at the time that he was firing the weapon, did she know what Kelsey was? The last she knew, she didn't know what Kelsey was exactly at the time of the shooting. She described her attention as being directed towards Tory because he was shooting at her. However, the last place she knew that Kelsey was seated was in the rear passenger seat behind the passenger side, on the passenger side of the vehicle in the rear. So I want you to take that in and absorb that. And so what does that mean to you? What should that mean to you? Okay, so if Kelsey was sitting right there at any point, how does Tory get in that position? How does he get in that spot? Is he moving Kelsey out of the way or what? And we'll get to some more shit. Just wait, and then we'll pose that damn question. So, child. Then, as far as the driver, did Megan tell you whether or not she was aware of where he was located at the time of the shooting? She was not aware of where he was located at the time of the shooting. What did Megan say happened after the defendant shot at her? She described that Tory and Kelsey ran up to her. She said that Tory immediately apologized for doing what he did and agreed to drive her home. I would like to pause. If I think that I've caused you any type of harm, and if you feel like harm has been caused or inflicted upon you, is home the place that you're going to go? If I really thought that it was severe, and if I really feel like I shot you, is me offering to take you home enough? Or am I going to have to tell you that I'm going to take you to the hospital or da-da-da-da-da?
Of course, going home is not a viable option. That's ridiculous. You just got shot in your foot. You would want to go to the hospital. You'd want to go to any emergency center you can. You got shot in the foot. You've never been shot before. You'd be in some sort of shock or panic. You're not just worried about going home. The whole thing is crazy, but let's get back into it. I'm not trying to give too much opinion. I want to get into the facts, but she stops sometimes and she gets into her own opinion, has everyone like,
come on, man,
read the transcripts. But you know, it's her channel. She does her thing on her YouTube. She engages in her audience. Good job. So we're going to get back into it.
That's something that's not logical to me. Why would it be okay for him to take you home if you've just been shot? Or are we going to go with the fact that what she was sitting up and she was so frantic about the shit that whatever he said, she was willing to get back in the car? Because we still don't have an understanding of why she would get back in the car when she claims that someone intentionally hurt her in that way. That was very serious, right? Oh, as far as what the fuck she said it. Anyway, so,
if we're going to keep it a stack, this is like a Jussie Smollett story. You got shot in the foot, but you return to the SUV and then you try to protect the same person that shot you in the foot when the cops arrive. The case is the people versus Tory Lanez, just like normal cases are, where the people is represented by the police and the district attorney who's trying to prosecute the person that's the offender. That's not new. People were asking that question, why is it the people? And it's like, okay, that's normal. It's standard practice. They went to charge him after the fact because she lied initially. She says she lied initially to protect him. Then she came up. We're going to get the dates shortly. We're going to get the whole dates and we're going to get everything in chronological order to see how it actually played out because it doesn't make sense. A lot of this doesn't make sense. There's a lot of inconsistencies here.
She stated that he immediately apologized for doing what he did and agreed to drive her home. After he fired the shots, did Megan tell you whether or not she felt anything? Megan immediately felt pain to her feet, and then she observed blood. She fell to the ground and then crawled to an adjacent driveway of a residence. Now, as she was outside and said, according to Megan, the defendant and Kelsey approached her. Did anything occur between Tory and Kelsey, according to Megan? Megan stated that from her description of it, was that she observed Kelsey and Tory bump into each other. And according to her, she agreed to then get back in the car with Tory and Kelsey to be brought home. Did she recall whether or not Kelsey had also tended to her as she lay on the ground? According to Megan, both of the individuals observed the blood and the injuries to her feet, and her friend Kelsey attempted to provide medical aid to her. When she got back in the vehicle, does she recall where everyone was seated at that point? Commit this to memory. Yes. When she returned to the vehicle, the driver remained in the driver's seat. And then Kelsey and Megan were in the rear of the vehicle, and the defendant was in the front passenger seat. So everybody get back where they were. So once she returned to the vehicle, did she say whether or not she was bleeding? She described her injuries as bleeding profusely. Did she say whether or not the defendant made any statements to her after he had shot at her? Yeah. What statements did he make according to Megan? Megan said that Tory apologized for doing it and offered her money and begged her to please not say anything, and made a reference to the fact that he was already on probation and that he begged her not to say anything. Once they were in the car, what happened next? Moments later, due to radio calls for shooting and
Now, what you're hearing from the transcripts is what she said in the interview on with Gayle King. But the problem with this is the first time we're hearing this. It's like the transcripts came out, and then she had to stick with the same story that she said in court on Gayle King's story, on Gayle King's network in the interview. The problem is she didn't say any of that in the 2 IG videos that we reacted to earlier. None of that was there. And the problem is when you're going through these cases and you're giving testimony online instead of being Johnny Tight-Lips and waiting for the actual court case, you'll have inconsistencies in your story. So even if you are telling the truth, doing this is doing a disservice to your case because you're not being consistent while telling your story. And then your story doesn't make sense too, because your back was turned and there's all sorts of other shit, but let's get back into it.
Progress that had been generated by citizens in a residential neighborhood. Responding officers observed a vehicle matching a suspect description based on the radio call and conducted a felony traffic stop on the vehicle that Megan and the defendant were in. Did she discuss with you statements that she had initially made to responding officers? Yes. What did she say about that? Initially, Megan stated to the responding officers that she was not shot and that she had sustained injuries to her feet due to stepping on broken glass. Did she tell you why she stated that to the officers? She said that at the time she was extremely scared and embarrassed, and was due to the fact that she was friends with the defendant, that she was scared that he was going to get in trouble. And she also expressed some concerns regarding the political climate regarding police and shootings. What exactly did she say about that? She was afraid that there had been recent police shootings, and that she described her concern for the police possibly shooting the defendant since he had just committed a shooting. When she stated to you that she saw the defendant shoot her, did she indicate that there was any doubt in her mind that it was a defendant and the defendant alone that had fired the weapon at her? No, no doubt. Did she authorize the release of her medical records? Yes. Did you speak with the doctor who may have treated her for those injuries? And I think that that's very important. I'm going to read it one more time and see if you pick up on a keyword that I think, makes and breaks this damn sentence. This question. Did you speak with a doctor who may have treated her for those injuries? The word may is something that I feel like makes me uncomfortable. Because you need to have spoken with the doctor that performed the surgery without a shadow of a doubt. Not the doctor who may have treated her for those injuries. We need the doctor that absolutely positively treated her for those injuries. That's very important to me. And so did you speak with the doctor who may have treated her for those injuries? Yes. Was she treated that night? Yes. Where was she treated? At Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. When you spoke to the doctor, was that Dr. Blank from Cedars-Sinai? Yeah. Is he an orthopedic surgeon? Yes. Did he tell you what treatment he rendered? Yes. What did he say? He told me that he had to surgically remove what he described as bullet fragments from Megan's left and right feet. That surgery was conducted when he used stitches to suture the wounds. However, there were bullet fragments that were unable to remove from Megan's foot that remain in her foot to this day. Does she still have scarring to her feet when she met with you on November 12, 2020? Yes. Did she tell you whether or not she had any other residual injuries or pain that she was dealing with as a result of what happened that night? Yes. What did she say? She said that she has ongoing physical therapy in order to achieve full range of motion, and she still has difficulty walking in certain types of shoe wear. Did she indicate that there was any nerve damage? She indicated that there was nerve damage to her foot. Now, the firearm in this case that was recovered is item number 2. Was that registered or unregistered? They said it was unregistered. I want to pause. Didn't Megan sit her ass up on that live and all of that gaudy ass country ass jewelry with that Kumo D 4-finger ring, Big Daddy Kane shit on, talking about it didn't hit no bones or ten.
Yep, I was just about to say that. I'm glad that she said that. She did get up on that live. We reacted to that earlier in this show, where she said, "Thank God it didn't hit any tendons or any bones or anything, and everything was in and out right through." But in this testimony in court, it's something completely different.
She ain't had no damage. Did she even rap about that? Didn't she say that she was thanking God that she didn't suffer any damage? Ain't that what she said? Because I feel like I remember her saying that. And now she done told these people that she got nerve damage and da-da-da-da-da.
What up, chat? What up, Torrance?
So why are you telling the public and the goddamn police two different things? Why your story is different? Why you leaving shit out? So it's fair to ask, what else did she leave out?
Yep.
Because what the hell you talking about? Anyway, she also should have sat her ass down somewhere. You wanted to make this shit believable, bitch. You should have been thinking about that from the jump. Because you was out and about with them ace bandages on all at the motherfucking club. You remember that? You've been wearing heels all over everywhere. Like, girl, but whatever. So, the defendant on that night, was he immediately arrested after the felony vehicle stop? Yeah. Once he was arrested, was he booked into the Los Angeles Police Department jail? Yeah. While he was booked.
Hold on, y'all. Shout out to Torrance Ingram. Said she trying her best to play a victim. LOL. Stop, Meg. That's what I'm saying, man. Stop it. Get some help.
Stop it. Get some help. Stop it. Get some help.
Come on, man.
We're in a different era. Get over it. Whoa!
Yeah, that was cringe. Can't believe that just happened to me. But let's get back into it. Why is this shit? Hold on, y'all. Discord's open. Y'all can call in, join the chat, but let's keep this smooth. Let's get back to the transcripts. Let's get back to it. Yikes.
In LAPD jail, did you receive any type of or retrieve any type of jail calls that may have been made? Yes. How did you go about doing that? Through our department resources, we have access to monitor phone calls that are conducted by arrestees as they're booked. They obtain a PIN number that we utilize to track the phone calls placed by individual arrestees. Did you track any calls that were made by Tory on the night of his arrest? Yes. Was there one in particular that was significant to you? Yes. What call was that? The defendant placed a call to Megan's friend, who was also a witness to the shooting, Kelsey. When that call, when was that call placed in relation to after the shooting? It was placed hours after he was actually booked into jail. So during that call that you listened to, how did you know that the call was placed to Kelsey? The system provides a phone number that the arrestee dials, and the phone number is consistent with the phone number provided by Kelsey, and it's also the same number that we talked to her with. So having listened to that call, what if anything occurred? Tory continued to apologize for the incident that occurred and told Kelsey that he was basically drunk and he was sorry for what he had done. At the time the call was placed to Kelsey, did Kelsey identify where she was, when the defendant called her? When the call was made by the defendant to Kelsey, where was Kelsey at? Oh, Kelsey was at the hospital with Megan at the time of the call. Did the defendant ask Kelsey how Megan was doing? Yeah. At any point during that phone call, did he deny being responsible for anything? No. Thank you. Nothing further for this witness. It is now time for Sean Holly to do her cross-examination. Good morning, Detective Stogner. Good morning, ma'am. You're only aware of 5 people that were eyewitnesses to this incident, correct? Yes, ma'am. I'm going to repeat that for everybody listening.
5?
You're only aware of 5 people that were eyewitnesses to this incident, correct? Yes, ma'am. Those people are Megan, the driver, Kelsey, Tory, and then the witness, correct? Correct. Now, the witness is an eyewitness who saw the incident from his balcony after being awakened to the sounds of an argument, correct? Yes.
God damn. Shout out to LTTV.
So there's another witness in the case.
You've spoken with them, correct? Yes. Now, of those 5 witnesses, only 2 of them gave statements to the police, right? Correct. And that was Megan and the witness, right? Yeah. So that's a little fun fact. They didn't have no whole bunch of witnesses cooperating, even though it wasn't a lot of people out there to see. The only people that gave a little statement was Megan and the witness. Okay.
So the security guard, nor Kelsey, Meg's friend, nor did Tory Lanez give a statement. Just the witness and Meg.
Officer Pete, reporting for duty. Okay. Would you agree with me that the accounts about what happened as told to you by the witness and by Megan are substantially different? They are different, yes. Would you agree that the witness, unlike Megan, is an independent witness? Yes. In other words, he has no particular interest in this incident, correct? Correct.
You're done.
He doesn't know any of the people involved, right? Not that I'm aware of. He didn't even know Tory Lanez or Megan Thee Stallion or who they were, right? Correct. He only became known to you when officers canvassed the area shortly after the incident to see if there were any witnesses to it, correct? Yeah. And Mr. Kelly acknowledged having been an eyewitness to the incident, correct? Yes. And you testified that Megan lied to the police about what happened initially. Yes. She lied to several police officers about what happened, correct? Yes. She also lied to the doctors at Cedars-Sinai about what happened, correct? Objection. Foundation calls for hearsay. That came from Kathy Ty. Sean Holly said it's definitely not offered for the truth of the matter. The court said, all right, it's not offered for the truth, overruled on that basis. Sean Holly. She lied to the doctors at Cedars-Sinai about what happened, correct? I believe so, yes. She told the officers and the doctors that she had cut her foot on glass. Is that right? Yes. And in fact, the doctor said that her injury appeared consistent with a laceration from glass, correct? Yes. Objection. Cause for foundation. Overruled. Hearsay. 115. The doctor told him that. Sean Holly says, so initially, the officers believed her, correct? That I don't know. Objection. They said it's sustained. It's irrelevant. Sean Holly comes back and says, the doctors, they also believed her, didn't they? Objection. Let me rephrase. Sustained, you may. Thank you. Did you learn through the course of your investigation as investigating officer that the doctors believed her initially? They said so? Kathy Ty said, I'll make the same. It does actually call for hearsay. Foundational issues. It calls for speculation. It's irrelevant. The court said it's irrelevant. Sustained. Sean Holly says, now, as you testified, Megan said that she lied in part because she was afraid that because they were all black people that the police would shoot them if they knew that they had a gun in the car, correct? Yes. Did you see the video that she posted of herself discussing?
It's false. No way. Not this time. We created it. Not this time. No, not this time. It's totally made up. Pure fiction. It's fiction. It's fiction. We made it up. We made this one up. It's a made-up tale. It's a total fabrication. It never happened.
that whole, if the cops knew that there was a gun in the car, the cops would have just pulled up like.
I'm about to add that hoe out.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
The liberal media will like to convince you that that's happening in every traffic stop where the cops is pulling out straps and clapping every nigga in sight. Stop the cap. That's not what's happening. That's not, man. Of course they're violating niggas. We see videos of it, but that's not what her fear was. She just got shot. That's an irrational fear. But let's get to this super chat. Shout out to you, Torrance Ingram. What do we got here? Let's pull this up on the board. This is sad. So what are the consequences? I can't even see that. The fucking lime green. What the fuck is that? All right, hold up. Let me see this. This is sad. So what consequences will she get for lying? None. None at all. No consequences. That's why she's trying to shame him and convict him in the court of public opinion so she can get as many people to believe her and feel sorry for her before the trial happens. Because if the trial doesn't go her way, she's going to look like a complete liar, and it's going to look bad for her. Things have changed, man. People are using their platforms to voice their opinion, and the bullshit-ass media is not going to be able to control people's opinions. People are free thinkers out here. We're only going to watch and believe the facts. So I'm not saying that, there's no possible way that this could have happened, but we're only listening to facts. So let's get back into the transcript.
Why she lied on Instagram Live on August 20th, 2020? No, ma'am. Are you aware of her statement, quote, "You think I'm about to tell the police that we niggas, us black people, got a gun in the car? You want me to tell the laws we got a gun in the car so that they can shoot all of us? I ain't tell the police what happened immediately and right then because I ain't want to die." Are you aware of that statement that she made? Not specifically, no. Now, once everybody was ordered out of the car by the police, Tory and his driver and Kelsey were handcuffed and taken to the Hollywood Police Division, correct? Yes. And Megan was placed in an ambulance where she was handcuffed and accompanied to Cedars-Sinai by a female LAPD officer. I understand she was transported to the hospital. I'm not aware of if she was, handcuffed or not. So you haven't seen the body cam footage from the ambulance ride? I've seen a lot of body cam footage. I don't specifically recall that at this time. Were there paramedics in the ambulance? Yes. So you agree with me that there was no danger at all to Megan of being shot by the police once she was in the ambulance on the way to the hospital? I would agree with that, yes. Yet she didn't tell the female officer or any officer in the ambulance that she had been shot, correct? Correct. Would you agree with me that when she got to Cedars, she was in no danger of being shot by the police? I would agree. And yet she didn't tell any of the officers at Cedars that her injury was not caused by glass, correct? Correct. Because she stuck with that story. Isn't that true? That officers left the hospital without interviewing her further? Yes. Objection withdrawn. You may proceed. Did you see her videotape statement on Instagram Live on August 20th of 2020? That she said she lied to the doctors because she thought that the doctors at Cedars were actually the police? No. As far as you're aware, was there anything about the doctors that made them appear?
Now, she did say that. She did say that she thought that the doctors would be working with the police.
Stop the cap.
What would that have to do with anything? So you tell the doctors, and the doctors, what are they going to do? Shoot you now? Because you said you were not telling in fear of being shot or any of them being shot. So what would the reason be now? Like, it makes no sense.
To be police. Oh, hold on. Damn, I skipped up too much. Hold on. Damn. How many pages I skipped on accident?
Jeez, what? She skipped pages in the transcript?
I know you lying. Hold on. Okay, here we go. I had slid up on that trackpad. That shit went crazy. As far as you are aware, was there anything about the doctors that made them appear to be police? Not that I'm aware of. During her Instagram, did you hear her say, I didn't tell police nothing because I didn't want us to get in no more trouble than what we were already about to get in? No, I haven't seen any of her Instagram. Take note of that. She did say a similar thing to you during your videotaped interview with her. Yes. Did you ever ask her why she would say that she would be in trouble if she had simply been the victim of a gunshot wound that she claims? Yeah. Why did she say that she might be in trouble? She expressed that she was traumatized and scared and embarrassed that the incident had occurred and she wasn't thinking clearly. So was your answer that she said that she might be in trouble because she wasn't thinking clearly? That's what she said. By the way, have you ever questioned her about any of her statements that she's made to the media or social media? No. If she's made statements which are inconsistent with what she told you, would you?
What?
So they don't question her about her statements on social media, but Tory Lanez gets arrested for any social media statements that might be hinted towards her. That he got arrested for something that didn't even say her name. They're like, oh, you insinuated this was in regards to Meg Thee Stallion's case. It's like, arrested, $350,000 bail, but you're not even listening or looking at the things she's saying on social media, which is a lot.
Consider that to be important? Yes. So ponder on that. The question was, if she has made statements which are inconsistent with what she told you, would you consider that to be important? He said yes.
Wow.
Now, he also already acknowledged that he hasn't watched or seen her social media. That's a problem. That's incompetent to me.
Of course.
That is absolutely incompetent to me.
Yep.
There's too much time on the line. There's too much time that a human is facing for you to not look at everything. So that's absolutely fucking ridiculous to me.
What they're admitting to is ignoring details in favor of their client. Fuck it. Anything that could contradict or go against what we're already the witness testimony in court, fuck it. We're gonna ignore it. We're not even gonna pay attention to it because we're just looking out for our client. Fuck the facts.
Ask that, now that we know that, how do you feel? Because now he needs to go to the drawing board and he needs to go take a look at all this shit. And so you acknowledge that it was important, but you haven't looked at any of the statements that she's made on her own social media, including on video? No. Are you aware that she wrote on her Instagram August 19th, I got hit at the back of my feet because when I got shot, I was, and this part is in all caps, walking away facing the back? Were you aware of that statement? I'm aware that there were multiple statements and multiple videos made by her social media, but you haven't seen any of those. No, ma'am. I conduct my investigation independent of any social media posts. Would you agree with me that there are a number of inconsistencies in making statements to you, to other LAPD officers, and to the media about the incident? Objection. Cause for speculation. The court said if you know, if you don't, you don't. If you know, and overruled it. The witness said, I'm only aware of inconsistent statements made between responding officers and myself. Okay? Sean Holly said, would you agree with me that there's a great deal of information that may get omitted? Statements to you about the incidents and the events leading up to the incident? Objection. The court said, if you understand the question. Overruled. Can you repeat the question, ma'am? Sure. Would you agree that Megan left out a lot of information in providing her statements to you about the incident and the events leading up to the incident? They said, I don't know what she may or may not have left out. They said, okay. Now, Megan and I'm going to call him
crazy.
Tory. Is that all right? Megan and Tory first saw each other on July 12th at Kylie Jenner's house, right? Yeah. You understood that Megan and Kelsey and another friend, EJ, had been in Miss Jenner's home throughout the day. Yes. It was just those 4 people, right? I'm not sure if it was just them 4, but she did tell me that they were at the house throughout the day. And she told you that it wasn't a party and it wasn't even a gathering, just a few people, hanging out, right? Yeah. Now, did Megan ever tell you that it was she who invited Tory to the house? No. In your videotaped interview of her, as she was telling the story of how Tory got there, she said, quote, so originally Tory wasn't with us when he came over. Do you remember that? Yes. Then you asked her, you and Kelsey are hanging out, and at some point in the night, Tory shows up? Uh-huh. Do you remember that? Yeah. She never clarified to you that he didn't just show up, but that she invited him, did she? No, she did not. Did she ever tell you that she gave him the address so he could come there? I did not know.
Whoa! All right, so there's so much information that the lawyer is not privy to because the lawyer did not care.
Yeah, I gotta get security. I want this man out of my sight right here. Get him out of here. He's got no place in here. Get rid of him. Okay.
You didn't ask either, did you? I did not. Did she tell you that prior to Tory arriving that they had been drinking all day? Yes. And that Tory didn't arrive until much later that night? Yes. And by the end of the night, or really the early morning, everybody had had a lot to drink? Yes. Now, you never asked Megan how much she had to drink that day and night, did you? Not specifically, no. You never asked her how impaired or intoxicated she was at the time of the incident, did you? Not specifically, no.
Oh, come on, man.
I gotta get security. I want this man out of my sight right here. Get him out of here. He's got no place in here. Get rid of him. Okay. Hell no. Trash ass nigga.
You didn't ask no questions. Not a single question. Are you kidding me?
But you are aware of the fact that alcohol can impair a person's perception, correct? Yes. And their ability to recall, correct? Yes. You were assigned this case at as the investigating officer on July 14th. And so that was 2 days after the incident, correct? He said yes. And you have your first telephonic interview with Megan on July 16th, correct? Correct. Now, in that interview, she told you that...
So this officer asked no questions. He's just trying to push through with the prosecution. It's like, fuck all the questions that are relevant to the case. Let's just put this through.
You stupid.
She and Tory were arguing about leaving a party and that she wanted to leave, but Tory didn't, correct? Yeah. And as you testified, when you met with her in person on November 12th, she clarified to you that it wasn't a party, right? Yes. Now, she and Kelsey and EJ had gone to Miss Jenner's house together in EJ's car, correct? I'm not sure whose car they were in, but they did travel together, yeah. May I have a moment, Miss Holly said. The court says yes. Holly said, so Megan, Kelsey, and EJ had all gone to Kylie's house together in a car, correct? Yes. And EJ and the car was still there at the time when Megan wanted to leave the house, correct? I don't know. Well, she told you that, didn't she? I don't recall. You asked me about that the person she came with was still there. You asked her why she wanted to leave with Tory. And she said it was a last minute thing. Remember that? She did say it was a last minute thing. Did you ask her why she was arguing with Tory about his not wanting to leave when she wanted to leave when the person she came with was still there? No. It didn't seem relevant to me at the time. So it didn't seem relevant to you to ask her why she wanted to leave with Tory and not with EJ, the person she came with? No. And she never explained that to you? No. She did tell you that it was a last minute thing and that she wanted to leave with Tory, right?
Crickets. Wait, what's going on there?
Y'all. Bitch, I'm some motherfucking high dosed off, bitch. Oh, bitch. I told y'all this shit. I done read this shit 2 days in a row, bitch. I'm out of line. My bad. And she never explained it to you? No. She did tell you that it was a last minute thing and that she wanted to leave with Tory, right? She stated that they had been friends for approximately a year and it was not uncommon for them to be in each other's company and that he would go over to her house all the time, right? Yeah. Did you ever learn that Megan was not truthful to you about the nature of her relationship with Tory? No. And you didn't think that was important? Objection, they said, sustained. Now, at some point, Megan and Kelsey got into the Escalade being driven by the driver. That would be Tory's bodyguard, right? Yeah. As far as you could determine, the driver had been waiting in the car by the time Tory had gone into Kylie's house. So in other words, he wasn't a part of the gathering. He's the driver just sitting in the car. That's your understanding? That's my understanding. Did Megan ever tell you that at the end of the night or early morning when she was ready to leave, that she had EJ and Kelsey take all of her and Kelsey's belongings out of EJ's car and put it in Tory's car that his driver was driving? She told me that she had personal items in Tory's car. But she didn't tell you that she had them take all of her personal items that had been in EJ's car that she came in, take them out and put them in Tory's car. She didn't tell you that? No. She did tell you that she was ready to leave and that Tory was in the pool with Kylie, right? Yeah. She told you that the driver, so she told.
Now this is a lot of omitted information.
The driver to take her and Kelsey home and go back and get Tory, right? Yeah. Now, can we pause on that? What the fuck you mean? She told you that she had them take her shit out of EJ car, put it in Tory car, but then she asked his driver if he could leave the nigga that he worked for, that he brought, because he was still in the pool, and take them home and come back and get him. I would like to pause really quickly. If she didn't have an attitude about anything and she wasn't upset about Kylie, why did you want to pull a stunt like that, and what was your attitude about? Why did you leave, and why did you want to leave? That's the question. Okay. So, she told the driver, his driver, to take her and Kelsey home and go back and get Tory, right? Yes. And none of that seemed odd to you, given that the person she came with in his car was still there? No. Did Megan tell you that the driver actually drove her and Kelsey away from Kylie's home, and that they made it close to Megan's house or where she was staying when Megan asked the driver to take her back to Kylie's house? No. So, hold on and pay attention to that question. Did Megan tell you that Tory's driver actually drove her and Kelsey away from Kylie's house, and that they had made it close to where Megan was staying when Megan asked the driver to take her back? The response was no. So she done left out all kind of shit with this man. She told you it wasn't a big deal that Tory wanted to stay, right? Is anybody's antennas going up? She told you it wasn't a big deal that Tory wanted to stay, right? Now let's pause really quickly. Earlier, when I told you to remember that detail about it being a party, she told them that they started arguing because he wanted to stay. But now she's saying that it wasn't a big deal that he wanted to stay. So if it wasn't a big deal that he wanted to stay, what would y'all have been arguing about? Whoa! So she told you it wasn't a big deal that Tory wanted to stay, right? Correct? But she also told you on July 16th that this was the source of the argument in the car, that she was ready to leave and he wasn't ready to leave, right? Yes. She told you that when she came out to the driver's car, she went back in again to tell Tory again that she was ready to leave. Do you remember that? I'm sorry. I couldn't hear. So, did she tell you that she came out, went back, came out again to try to get Tory to leave? She said that there was some back and forth trying to leave the party. And then the driver went in to get Tory, right? Yes. And then according to Megan, Tory was upset when he came out to the car with the driver, right? Yes. It appeared to her that he was upset because she was insistent that they leave, right? That's what she told me. Yes. And she was upset that he wasn't leaving when she wanted him to leave, right? That, I don't know, ma'am. Let's pause on that. You asked his driver to take you home. The driver may have taken you. You tell him turn around, go back. And you go back at least 2 or 3 times to try to get Tory to leave. He never paid you no damn mind, not enough, because you had to send the driver to go tell him to come on. And that's when he comes out and he got an attitude now, you claim, because he didn't want to leave. But you claim you didn't care if he stayed. But why is it that he has to leave? First of all, you had a ride because you came with EJ. So why did Tory have to leave? Because you wanted to leave. So my question remains, if she wasn't jealous, what was she?
She's a goddamn liar.
If you don't get that bullshit out of my face, bitch.
Just like a woman.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
Seemed like she was jealous and she was clinging to every last move, but let's get back into this. And there's a lot of shit that was omitted. Why was none of this shit taken for record? They just ignore all the shit that's contradictory. It's crazy.
Shit getting out of hand now.
And what was the nature of the relationship? If she calls herself getting upset that he don't want to leave and this, that, and the third. I mean, what the fuck is going on? What kind of shit is that? Let me take a sip of this drink. I had dozed off so quick, my motherfucking head snapped up. Bitch, as soon as I looked up, I see somebody talking about in the chat, hello? But they had just said it. I was like, oh, you wasn't like out of the, but you was out of the child. Yeah, that shit did give me a little recharge right quick when my head had snapped up. That shit really had, you know, it gave me that second boost. So anyway, would you agree with me that a witness's memory of events is clearer in their minds, closer to the event than further from it?
Closer, yeah.
Usually,
100%.
yeah. Don't you think a few hours after the incident when Megan was in the hospital that she told officers Gomez and made sure that the verbal argument in the car was between her and Kelsey? Objection. It's not offer for the truth, but it's irrelevant. It's an important and consistent statement. What's the relevance? That she said that this argument is key to what happened. And she's told many inconsistent stories about who this argument, and then the court said, what was the nature of that argument? She said, I promise I'll get to that. And so that's when Kathy Todd was still trying to, get it thrown out. But Miss Holly just rephrased it. She said, he is the investigating officer who presumably has read all of the reports. If Megan will tell herself, these are the questions that will be put to her. It certainly doesn't seem fair to the proceedings that the court interjected and said one layer of hearsay, and that's a second layer. So the statement, the inconsistent statement to the officer, is a hearsay exception. And so that's when Miss Holly came back and said, it's not hearsay. It's a prior inconsistent statement which she would be confronted with if she were here. Now, if he says that he wasn't aware of it as the investigating officer, then it is what it is. But it is central to the situation. They say the objection is sustained. There's no foundation. Miss Holly comes back and she says, have you received any information at all as the investigating officer that Megan said that the argument was between her and Kelsey? They said Megan has also stated to me that she and Kelsey were arguing. Isn't it true that the witness, the independent witness, observed a physical fight between Megan and Kelsey? That's what he stated. Now, when you interviewed her on the phone on the 16th of July, it was then that she claimed that the argument was between her and Tory about leaving the party, right? Yes. And when you interviewed her in November, she said that Kelsey and Tory were arguing, right? Yes. So there goes an inconsistency. Did you ask her any follow-up questions on any of these stories about who was arguing with whom and why? Yeah. Now stay with me. Did she tell you at some point that the argument in the car escalated when Tory revealed to Kelsey that he was in an intimate relationship with Megan? I'm not aware of that. You don't remember that from your interview where she says that? That Tory and Megan were in an intimate relationship? That Tory said that in the car and that's what escalated the argument? No. You don't remember that? No. Do you remember her saying that Tory bringing that up, and this is in her words, in her videotaped interview, that created drama because Kelsey knew Megan had a romantic interest in Tory? I knew that Kelsey had some affection for the defendant. Do you remember Megan saying to you in your videotaped interview that Kelsey said that night in the car that this wasn't the first time that Megan, she said this on video, backdoored her with a guy? Do you remember that? Yes.
Perfect.
Now we reacted to that earlier in this same live stream that we're in right now. We reacted to that. That video was earlier. If y'all are just popping in now, we reacted to that video of Kelsey saying that. So there's a lot of information and a lot of shit that was omitted from this case in court that's out and available on the internet that they're just trying to ignore. It's not going to go well. They're trying to convict them in public opinion. But really and truly, what's going on in the courts, it's not looking good right now. Way too much inconsistencies from Meg's side. Way too much.
Child, $20. I just need a 20-second fucking break.
More money, more money, more money.
Are you enjoying the show? Then go ahead and drop something in my Cash App or my PayPal because this is an independent operation.
Yeah, you heard the lady. You enjoying the show? Go drop something in my Cash App or my PayPal because this is an independent operation. Hit the super chat like Torrance Ingram. Take a lesson.
Perfect.
Let's get back into this shit.
This channel is funded by the people, for the people. So you gonna invest in a nigga or what?
Yo, you heard her? This channel is funded by the people, for the people. So are you going to invest in a nigga or what?
We took it to another level, to a whole nother level. Yes, we did.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Jeez. Let's get back into it.
Little baby talking about don't fall asleep. Child. So, get into that revelation. It's supposed to be on video that they were arguing about being in an intimate relationship. And then we have this detail right here that Kelsey said, this ain't the first time you backdoored me with a guy. So now we have a motive. Because Megan said Tory shot her for no reason.
All right. So Coyote Cage says, Mob is the last fake Barb I'll listen to. But she's close with Daystar, and I'll believe it's more to the story. Listen, we're not believing any one individual's opinion on this. I don't give a fuck about anyone's individual opinion. She's doing a good job by bringing the transcripts. I already told y'all in the beginning, I'm going to have to double source all of this shit and read all this shit before I believe it's true. But there's a lot of things that is being said in here that is true in relation to the reactions or the things that she said on the internet. Things that Kelsey said, the things that Meg the Stallion said. A lot of that shit was omitted from the case and needs to be taken into consideration. And there's been inconsistencies. We have the evidence. We've reacted to it. So we're not taking one individual's word. We're just looking at the facts. That's it. Let's get back into it.
Y'all remember that? Or you gonna act like this detective? Okay, so we got Kelsey ass sitting up here. Upset, I would imagine. Would that give her a reason to want to do something? I mean, one could assume so and speculate that based on that. So, did any of this shed any light for you as to why Megan was upset that Tory wasn't leaving the party or the gathering or the hangout at Kylie's house? No. Now, Megan told you that during this argument in the car, which was either between her and Kelsey or Tory and Kelsey or Tory and her, that she got out of the car on Sunset Boulevard and sat on a bus stop, right? Yes. The bitch was at the bus stop. So Megan got out of the car more than once. Okay.
Coyote Cage says, I don't believe Meg. It's just mob radio that irks me. All right, y'all have there's a fucking pattern that goes on here. I see it a lot. I will whoa. I be failing. I would react to a creator, especially a first time reaction, and I'll have a bunch of motherfuckers in the chat section telling me about how they don't fuck with this motherfucker, this person's X, Y, and Z. And it's like, nigga, I'm gonna make up my own mind anyway. You're not gonna convince me. So good for you. Shout out to you for your experience with this content creator, but I'm gonna have my own opinion.
Bitch, what was about the bus stop? And she was wearing a bikini at that time, right? I believe so. And it was 4:30 in the morning, correct? Yes. Did you ask her how long she sat at the bus stop on Sunset Boulevard in her bikini at 4:30 in the morning? From my understanding, it was a brief time, ma'am. I'm not sure of the exact amount of time, but it was a brief amount of time. And she told you that while she was at the bus stop, she called her manager. And she said, quote, she said to the manager, come get me, because I don't want to be in a car when they doing all this arguing, right? Yes. Pause. Didn't Megan say her phone was dead? Megan said that her phone was dead. That's why she couldn't use her phone. Now pause. Let's play devil's advocate and be fair. Is it possible that Megan's phone could have died after this phone call? Is that possible?
Hey, yo, pause, son. Pause, son. Pegging you wrong. Pause, son.
How much time passed from, that time to when the police pulled him over? Or before the police pulled him over. How much time passed from when she made this phone call to when she got shot? And she asked to, or she tried to use her phone. Because she said she was walking away from the car. And she was going to use the phone for a ride, but the phone...
All right, JLX official says, Meg was so drunk she didn't even know what happened and went with whatever would save her career. Yep, sounds like it, because when she was very drunk and she didn't want to give any type of... She didn't want to give any statement initially. That's why she made up any excuse. Oh, I thought the police were going to shoot me. Oh, I thought the nurses and everybody in the hospital were also working with the police who would effectively shoot me for some reason. I don't get that. So she held off on giving a recount of the incident until she sobered up, and then she made up what. Yo, that's facts. What Jay Lex is saying. I'll rock with that. Man, it's just crazy, man. There's just too much inconsistencies here. I definitely don't want to be supporting somebody if they actually did shoot her, but it's just, come on, man. This is crazy. I'm not gonna convict them on like the whole convicting a person in the court of public opinion is ridiculous. I'm not gonna try to cancel somebody and look at them completely different, have their character destroyed off of accusation. We gotta wait it out and see the evidence. And what she's trying to do is foul, because she's just going on interviews and just, man, let's get back into it.
Was dead. Do you notice that the first person that she called was her manager? Her manager is who?
Struggling.
Even if you don't know the manager's name, who's her management? So it'll be a manager from Rock Nation, right? So she called Rock Nation. Okay. And so, again, she was saying that they were arguing, even though she had previously said that she was part of the argument, right? Yeah. At some point, Tory, with his driver driving, came back and got her. And he got her to get back in the car from the bus stop, right? Yeah. And then she told you that she and Tory started arguing about their music careers and who was the best rapper. Something like that. Something to that effect, yes.
Coyote Cage says, did you pay attention on the interview? How she was asked about them being intimate and how she answered? Yeah, it was earlier in this in the same live stream we're doing now. I reacted to that earlier. She stalled for time and then lied. And it was very awkward. And it's like, come on, man, stop the cap. We see how you're lying. But, let's get back into this.
Ain't that some dumbass shit? When the car was on Nichols Canyon Road, she wanted to get out of the car again, right? Yes. You've been to that location, yes? Yes. It's very dark, isn't it? Yes, it is. And a very narrow canyon street. Yes. Residential? Yes. Just a few houses in a general vicinity? Yes. And one of those houses is the eyewitness's home, correct? Yes. And his balcony is just over the area where the incident occurred, correct? Yes. And he told you that he was awakened by the sound of arguing, and he went out to his balcony to see what was going on, right? Yeah. And LAPD officer spoke to him in person shortly after the incident, right? Yes. And he said that it appeared to him that the muzzle flash was closest to the non-victim female at the time of the shooting, correct? Yes. He also indicated that he saw the female passenger in the back of the car get out, open the front passenger door where the other female passenger was, and that they started fighting and kicking one another, right?
God damn!
Yes.
Ooh, hold on. Shit, where did I go with that? I fucked it up.
Did Megan tell you anything about getting her ass whooped? Car. Walk to the passenger side, open the door, and start whooping Megan's ass.
Whoa, hold on.
Yes. Let's talk about it. The witness claimed that he saw Kelsey
I gotta go
get
back
out of the back of the
bad,
fucking
y'all.
car.
My bad, y'all. I be fucking this
Yes.
up. Hold on.
Person shortly after the incident, right? Yes. And he said that it appeared to him that the muzzle flash was closest to the non-victim female at the time of the shooting, correct? Yes. He also indicated that he saw the female passenger in the back of the car get out, open the front passenger door where the other female passenger was, and that they started fighting and kicking one another, right?
God damn!
Yes. Let's talk about it. The witness claimed that he saw Kelsey get out of the back of the fucking car, walk to the passenger side, open the door, and start whooping Megan's ass.
What?
Did Megan tell you anything about getting her ass whooped? Did she tell you anything about that? Okay. I'm gonna read that to you one more time. He also indicated that he saw the female passenger in the back of the car get out, open the front passenger door where the other female passenger was, and that they started fighting and kicking one another, right? Yes. An LAPD officer spoke with him in person shortly after the incident, right? Yes. And you spoke with him on the phone on July 16th, right? Yes. Did you ever go speak with him in person? I attempted, but I was unable to meet with him in person. So you did think it was important for you as the investigating officer to speak with the only independent witness to the incident? Yes. Would it surprise you to hear that the eyewitness felt that during your telephonic interview with him, that it felt to him like nothing that he had to say was important to you? That wouldn't surprise me. According to Megan, she got out of the car for the second time and started walking away from it, right? Yes. She said that as she was walking away, she heard Tory say, "Dance, bitch," right? Yeah. Now, other than Megan, was there anyone else that said they heard this? No. Because even though this particular man, I'm not going to say his name, Mr. Blank, was the only eyewitness in the neighborhood, there were a number of ear witnesses, right? Yes. An officer spoke with several of those ear witnesses, correct? Yes. And many of them heard an argument, correct? Yes. And many of them heard gunshots. Yes. And actually, some of that is recorded on their Ring or security cameras, right? Correct. She told you, Megan told you in her in-person interview that she saw Tory pull his gun, right? She stated that she saw him point a gun at her. But she also stated that she saw him pull his gun. Do you remember her saying that? Something to that effect, yes. She also stated that she was 25 feet away, correct? Approximately. Facing away from him, correct? Yes. In the dark, yes. When he was at least partially, according to her, inside the car, right? Yes. Did she say where he pulled it from? No. She told you, he was standing over the door when he shot? Yeah. He's in the back seat of the car? Yeah. Behind the driver when Megan got out of the car, right? Right. Did she say that he shot over the window from the back seat behind the driver? No, from the passenger side. So when she gets out of the car, he's in the rear driver's side, correct? Correct. Yet she sees him from the inside of the car in the rear passenger side. Is that right? Correct. Now, except for the driver, everyone in the car, when they're stopped by the police, are wearing swimsuits, correct? Yeah. So based on what they're wearing, a few minutes later, after they were ordered out of the car, is it fair to say that there was nothing on their person to conceal? They said weapons can be concealed in a lot of places, ma'am. I couldn't say whether they could or could not. Or what, they were partially wearing. Did you see the body cam video when he's ordered out of the car and he's wearing his swim trunks? Yes. Megan told you that she never seen a gun in the car or on the person of anyone who was in the car, correct? Correct? And she also told you that Tory seemed shocked after the shot, like he couldn't believe that he shot her, correct? Yes. And both Tory and Kelsey got out of the car and came to her aid, right? Yes. And she told you that Tory said, "Please don't tell nobody, I'm already on probation," correct? Yes. But he wasn't on probation, was he? Not that I can find. No. Did you form any opinion about the truthfulness of Megan saying that Tory would say he's on probation when he wasn't on probation? I couldn't see that he was on probation, ma'am. They said, but did you form any opinion about her saying that he said something like that when he wasn't on probation? The answer was, it was inconsistent. Did you believe everything that she told you? Objection. Overruled. I believe in my experience that it's difficult to believe everything that any victim or suspect says completely 100%. And so Sean Holly said, fair enough. We established that you were assigned this case 2 days after the incident, correct? Yes. And when you got the file, I'm assuming that you read the report of officers Lyndon Cabral on the scene shortly after the incident, right? Yeah. So you were aware that the witness had told them that he saw two females physically fighting, correct? Yes. And you were also aware that the report says that their investigation revealed a physical altercation between Kelsey and Megan occurred. An unknown suspect fired approximately 5 rounds. Yes. So why did you exclude all of that information from your first report on July 16th and instead write that Tory and Megan were involved in a verbal argument? My report is in reference to my investigation that I concluded, which included the interview with, that I conducted with Megan, which was her statement. That was her statement. Why didn't you include anything about the witness's observations in your first report? The phone call that I had with the witness is annotated in the report. In the first report, whenever I spoke with him was the only time that I spoke to him on the phone. Is in that report. Well, in your first report of July 16, 2020, and I believe that's the date in which you spoke with him, I don't believe that you mentioned anything about what Mr. Kelly observed. I disagree. Okay. Did you have an opportunity to watch the body cam footage of the officers attempting to interview Tory at the jail? Yeah. And so you heard him say, I was just trying to protect my girl. There was an objection. It says, I will object as to double hearsay at this point. The court said, object to what? They said, objection, hearsay. They said, overruled. The witness said, I don't specifically remember that statement, ma'am. So that's when Sean Holly said, did you see the body cam footage of his arrest where he says that he was trying to get his girl to safety? They said, I saw a lot of body cam video. Did you hear him say that? I don't recall that specific statement. Did you hear him say, I was just trying to help my girlfriend? I don't recall, ma'am. Did you hear him say, I was just trying to help my shorty? No, ma'am, I don't recall. That's why none of those statements are in any of those reports, because you don't recall him saying those things. That would have been something that would be annotated in the responding officer's report if it was relevant. There's gunshot residue on Tory and Kelsey's hands, correct? According to the report, yes. That was an interesting way to answer that, instead of just saying yes. You've learned that Kelsey and Megan are no longer friends, right? Up to this night, they have been close friends for more than 7 years, right? Yeah. And she also, Kelsey.
Now, according to the reports that I've reported on my podcast, Blunt Talk with LT, there was no gun, no residue on Tory Lanez's hands found. It was inconclusive. Also, according to DJ Academic's report that he got, it was inconclusive. So there was no residue found on Tory Lanez's hands. So I don't know what's going on with that statement in this in the transcript. But let's get back into it.
She also had been Megan's assistant, correct? Yes. Yet they stopped their friendship immediately following this incident, right? Oh, that's cool. Thank you. I got something to snack on.
I didn't hear that.
Cause y'all know this is taking me under and out. Ooh. God damn. Y'all tracking them? Oh, we almost done. Yeah, almost done.
Yeah, let's get through it.
So, you knew that Kelsey had been Megan's assistant, correct? Yeah. Yet they stopped their friendship immediately following this incident, right? I'm not aware of exactly when, but from my understanding, sometime around there. Yeah. Now, the bullet fragments, which were allegedly removed from Megan's ankles, they can't be located, correct? Correct. So we got somebody repeating what the doctor that may have done the surgery said. And now we have missing bullet fragments. This shit ain't fishy to y'all. And where did this evidence, this very important evidence, where did it go?
Also an inconsistency, because earlier in the transcript they said that the bullet fragments were still stuck in her foot and they couldn't remove it, and it was stuck in a ligament or some shit like that. I can't remember what the fuck they said, but that wasn't consistent with Meg's statement saying that it didn't hit no bones, no ligaments, nothing serious. It all went out, and then now they can't find any fragments. So it's like, which one is it?
You wouldn't guard that with your life? Yeah, it just disappeared, huh? Okay. These are the only times I wish that somebody could take over so I could drink this damn drink. That shit tastes so good, and I want to pop, and I want to eat some ice. Ooh. All right. So, now.
My bad, y'all. I don't know what this girl was saying in this reaction for a second. I'm just watching this video on Instagram. This guy is fucking up multiple officers in this video. He got out of it. Oh, man. I got to react to this after. I got to get this on the podcast. Y'all probably can't see it from my screen here, but, yo, this nigga is... And he drove away after fucking them up. Oh, man. I'm reacting to that in the next episode. God damn.
Jesus Christ.
All right, let's get back into it.
The bullet fragments, which were allegedly removed from Megan's ankles, they can't be located, correct? Correct. And you indicated that you reviewed the medical reports from Cedars, or at least some of them. Yeah. Did you read the report that called the findings superficial injuries? Yes. Nothing further. I ain't even got no more questions for this little bitch. Okay. Kathy Ta.
Just so we're clear, whenever the bomb drops, that's her audio. That has nothing to do with me. I wouldn't drop all those bombs consecutively. I have a bunch of different drops. So let's get back into it.
Is now coming up to ask questions. Now, gunshot residue, when it returns positive, is it indicative necessarily of a shooter, or are there reasons that gunshot residue may appear on someone? Objection. That calls for speculation. Foundation sustained. Ask another question. Are you familiar with what gunshot residue is? Yes. How are you familiar with it? Speaking to criminologists and analysts, and also reviewing and read multiple gunshot residue reports where it annotates their findings. The findings defense had asked you about, there is specific verbiage in the findings that discusses ways in which gunshot residue can be found on a person. Is that correct? Yes. Can it be found in other ways besides discharging a firearm? Objection. Overruled. According to the analysis reports, it can also be transferred from touch or in the vicinity of a gun being fired. To be clear, someone simply in the vicinity where a gunshot is fired, they can return positive for gunshot residue, correct? Yes.
That's true.
Well, thank you, Kathy, for giving us something that we could apply to Tory. Because it can't be that it could accidentally get on somebody else, but just not him. So anyway, based on Megan's statement to you, does it appear from her statement that Kelsey was in the vicinity of the shots being fired at the time the defendant fired that weapon? Objection. He already said that the defendant said that they don't know where Kelsey was at the time. Or not the defendant, that Megan didn't know where Kelsey was at the time. The court said sustained. They said, what do you recall Megan say where Kelsey was located at the time the defendant started shooting a gun? Objection. Overruled. The last place Megan observed Kelsey seated was on the rear passenger seat, which is the same location where she observed Tory shooting at her from. So I have a question. How does this come to pass in the amount of time that it allegedly came to pass? So Tory moves Kelsey out of the way, or she gets out of the way. They exchange seats. And then he fires a gun. Kelsey didn't see it or think anything of it. And if Kelsey was behind him because he had taken that seat, how in the fuck does she have gunshot residue on her hands? If this man is standing, he half in, half out the car, standing up over to where his arm is over the top of the door, How'd she get that on her hands? As the story goes, how Megan told it. It don't even make sense to me. Okay. Kathy Toss said, let me clarify. When you spoke with Megan, did she say that she actually saw the defendant on the real passenger side? Or just simply she recalled him being on the passenger side of the vehicle at the time that he shot the gun? She was certain of the passenger side of the vehicle. With respect to the statements made by the witness, was the witness able to identify anyone as a part of this incident? No. Could he describe anything about the individuals involved? He could describe that he saw a male, 2 males, and 2 females. When he spoke to you about these 2 females and males, did he indicate that there was one that appeared to be beaten by the others? Yes. What exactly did he say about them? He believed that they were trying to kill her. It looked to him to be a severe beating. Okay? And so, when he said severe beating, did he indicate who was perpetuating the beating upon him? He had mentioned that it was the 2 males beating the female on the ground. To be clear, he indicated that there were 4 individuals, and he couldn't identify any of them, correct? 1 individual is beaten up by the other 3, correct? That was his recollection? Yes.
All right, so I've been trying to double source this transcript the entire time. I've been trying to find the transcript so I can read it for myself to confirm everything that this lady's saying in this video is actually correct with the transcripts. Now, I have failed. I have not found it so far, but I have done bare minimal research. So there's a lot more research that I have to get done. So if anybody has found the actual transcripts online, hit me up in the Discord. Join the Discord. The link is in the description. I left it at the top of the chat, but it's also in the description. Join the Discord. Hit me up in the Discord. If you want to call in to the show, I'm gonna open the call lines again shortly. For anybody that wants to give their opinion on this matter, you got to join the Discord. But hit me up in the Discord if you found the transcripts. Leave me the link so I can read over those again to make sure that everything she's saying is correct here, because we got to take this with a grain of salt the way it is. So let's get back into this.
This was, as you said, a dark alleyway, correct? A dark street, yes. When he heard yelling or cursing, could he recall anything about what was being said? Not specifically. Can he recall anything about, who fired the gun? In his statement to me, he observed the muzzle flashes, but he couldn't specifically determine, who was firing the gun. Now, Miss Holly asked you about whether or not you believe Megan's statements. Did you believe Megan when she indicated to you that she saw the defendant shooter? Yeah. How was her demeanor at the time that she talked about the shooting? They said when she spoke to me, she was sincere and visibly distraught regarding the incident. They said, was she crying at all? Yeah, she was crying. They said Miss Holly mentioned social media content that the victim may have posted regarding her fear of the police shooting her. Is that consistent or inconsistent with what she told you? They said it's consistent with what she told me. Aside from her fear of police on that night.
Hey, yo, Coyote Cage. Turn off notifications, my nigga. Just turn off the notifications. Forego the notifications. But then again, you might miss everything, so there's no point. I get it. It is what it is.
Right. What they could do to the parties if they found out that there's a weapon in the vehicle. Did she indicate other reasons for why she wasn't initially truthful to the officers? Yeah. They said, what were the other reasons? That she was traumatized and scared. And due to her celebrity status, she was embarrassed regarding being involved in an incident like this. The other neighbors that were interviewed, when they heard yelling or cursing, did any of them indicate whether they heard any of the specific words being said? They said no specific words. When you spoke to the doctor who treated Megan that night, did he indicate to you that her injuries were caused by broken glass or gunshots? He stated that it was gunshot wounds and that bullet fragments that were removed from her feet. Did he actually have to perform some type of surgical procedure on Megan to treat her for the injuries? Yes. And they said, was that surgical procedure meant to remove all of the bullet fragments or some of the bullet fragments from her feet? They said, from my understanding, the purpose was to remove all of the fragments from her feet. However, Due to the placement of some of the fragments, he was unable to remove all of them. So Ms. Holly asked you about the statements that Tory made to the officers on the body-worn footage. Your report indicates that the defendant invoked his rights so that he didn't have to speak to the police. Is that correct? Yes. Is that in fact what happened? Yes. On the phone call between the defendant and Kelsey, at any point is Kelsey making statements about having assaulted or shooting Megan? No. Is Kelsey making any apologies about having done anything wrong to Megan? No. In fact, it was Kelsey that was waiting at the hospital with Megan when she was getting treated during that phone call. Yes. I'm going to read that again. In fact, it was Kelsey that was waiting at the hospital with Megan when she was getting treated. Okay. And they said during that phone call, right? Yeah. So when Tory is apologizing, is he apologizing about what occurred on that night? Objection. Overruled. Yes. Hold on. My fault. Hold on. My ass hit that trackpad too.
What?
Okay. And so they said overruled. The witness said yeah. And so is he apologizing specifically for saying or for having done something because he believed that he was too drunk? Ms. Holly said objection. Cause for speculation as to what he's apologizing for. The judge said overruled. The witness said yes. How can you say, what I'm apologizing for? That doesn't make no fucking sense. So Tory has had an outburst in court. That's what that was. Okay. Holly said, get quiet. Get quiet, get quiet. They said, if I can have a moment, Your Honor. They said the defendant is in jail. Or on the jail call specifically saying, I'm deeply sorry. I never even moved like that. So I feel crazy, but I made a mistake. What happened already. I can't take it back. I'm just telling y'all I'm sorry. I think I was just too drunk. Is that what he said on his jail call? Yeah. Thank you. Nothing further. Now pause. If you had just shot a bitch, who would you call first?
I wouldn't know.
Is Tory allowed to keep his phone, or did he have her phone number memorized? That's another question. How deep is your love? Because what the fuck is really going on? When he says, I'm sorry, I never even moved like that, but I made a mistake. What does that sound like? Could that be someone who had sex with two best friends?
Could be.
Who got them to arguing where it escalated? Who feels guilty? Could it be that?
Could be. Could be anything. You don't know.
Because maybe if I hadn't said anything, the shit wouldn't have escalated. That makes more sense than all that other bullshit they peddling.
That does. It does.
I remember he said, it's sick how you tried to twist it though.
Yep. It is sick how she tried to twist it. From what we see. From what's been put out there. Seems like cap.
Megan, you showed the text message. Why you gonna play a voicemail? Might as well. Hold on.
So a little bit more here. Probably what, 30 seconds more, 40 seconds more of
It ain't
transcripts.
nothing like when that drink is refreshing.
Let's get back into it, man. All these bombs getting ridiculous.
That should be too motherfucking good. And so, Sean Holly said, does he say anything in the jail call about the shooting? No, ma'am. You indicated that the witness couldn't identify anyone, but he identified people by their size, correct? Yeah. And he said that one of the men was big and one of the men was small, right? Yeah. Okay, so he was able to describe the way that people look. He just don't know who they are, right? Right. I have nothing further. They said nothing further for this witness and no additional witnesses. And so the court said motions, Miss Holly. Sean Holly, she said just a motion to dismiss for insufficiency of evidence, Your Honor. And so the judge said, no, I'm not going to dismiss. But the fact that they would even file a motion to dismiss, that speaks volumes. Now, that was the transcript.
All right, so that's the end of the transcripts. The last court date was last month. The charges were sustained, so they're going through with the trial. They didn't drop anything yet. From what I'm seeing, when it actually reaches court, there's too many inconsistencies in this case. I don't know if they have enough evidence to actually convict Tory Lanez. I don't know if he actually did it. If I was a gambling man and I was to put like a significant bet on it, I would bet that he did not do it, judging from the evidence that we're seeing currently. But who knows? I don't like the fact that Meg is trying to convict him in the court of public opinion with all this sympathy shit, getting up on these platforms, faking tears, these crocodile tears that don't escape her goddamn eyes. It's all motion. It's all noise and performance-based tears. Nothing's coming out. And we don't buy the tears after you were up on IG Live in a bonnet talking about, oh, you shot me, nigga, da, 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 all this aggressive shit. So all that sentiment, all that emotional, teary-eyed, traumatic bullshit, we ain't having that.
Crying to me, and I'm not having that.
No disrespect if you were actually harmed in this incident, but save it for court. All this media trying to persuade and get all these people on Twitter to say fuck Tory Lanez, cancel him. All these girls on Twitter talking about if you support Tory. Hold on, I'm pulling up this tweet because I went into this thread. I don't really talk shit on Twitter because it doesn't make money to talk shit. People are just talking shit for free and just doing a bunch of bullshit. So I don't really engage in Twitter too much, but I had to hit someone with a
Silence, you fool!
Hold on, let me pull up the comment because this was ridiculous. Huh? It's an inside cry in my New York voice. Play the drop if I cry. What drop? Nigga, I don't know. I was waiting for it. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know which drop you're talking about. Was it this one? Hold on, y'all.
Crying to me, and I'm not having that.
The Keenan Grace one. Keenan Grace. Shout out to Keenan Grace. Keenan Grace is a YouTuber who does a lot of stock and crypto YouTube. Talks about a lot of stocks to invest in and a lot of crypto plays. A lot of just a lot of shit. A lot of financial shit on his channel. Keenan Grace, the person behind this drop. Shout out to Keenan Grace.
Crying to me, and I'm not having that.
Nah, I gotta find that tweet though. Hold on, y'all. We ain't leaving with the fuck. Which account did I do this shit on? Nigga. Patience with me, y'all. Oh yeah, J Lex official crying to me. Yeah, it's facts. It's that one. Yeah. Okay. Hold on, y'all. Holy. I'm struggling to find this. Wait, the Raptors won? Yo, Philly's trash, man. Shout out to the Raptors, though. We hanging on in here. The Durant got swept. Yo, there's a bunch of updates. Hold on, y'all. I am struggling to find this tweet. I forgot which profile because I have Blunt Talk with LT on Twitter. I have LTTV on Twitter. I have Lyrical Thread LT on Twitter. Follow all three if you're on Twitter. All right, this is what it is. All right. So this girl, Shwayla. Oh, she blocked me. Oh, wow.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Coyote Cage, where's your accent from? Gee, I like it. I'm not one to ask questions. I'm from Toronto. It's a Toronto accent out here. A lot of people say I typically don't sound like everybody else from Toronto, but it is what it is. It's a Toronto accent. I speak a lot of American subjects because I speak on a lot of American subjects because make my money out here in America. I pay American taxes, more American taxes than Canadian taxes. So I participate in the events, you know what I mean? And we out here like that. So it is what it is. All right, so this girl said this. Shwaylex, her account is @Lexual_. Says, at this point, with all the evidence, you believing Tory Lanez over Meg Thee Stallion tells me everything I need to know about you and your thoughts about black femicide and the harm of black women. No further explanations needed. You have shaming language like this on Twitter for everybody that's looking at this case objectively and not just believing all women. We see what's going on with the Amber Heard Johnny Depp defamation trial where she assaulted Johnny Depp. She admitted to it on audio on the phone multiple times. There's multiple audios of her admitting to it. There's pictures. There's all sorts of evidence of his finger getting cut off, the damages to his nose, all sorts of evidence, and we're still going through this. And she still tried to paint him as the abuser. So girls get away with lying all the goddamn time. And it's not like we're just going to believe everybody in this type of shaming language. It's just like, come on, man. What evidence? When they say all this evidence compiled against Tory Lanez, what evidence? We've been looking for it. We've been running stories. Everyone's been reacting to it. Anytime a YouTuber gets on their platform and does an objective breakdown about something, Meg accuses they accuse Tory Lanez and his team of paying motherfuckers off for running stories that's not favorable to her. This is ridiculous. TG says these women are making us worse. Yeah, they're making y'all look bad. And then it's like when a woman comes with a real accusation of something that really happened, it's received with a grain of salt now because all these bitches been capping, ruining it for the real women going through shit. It's not okay. It's not okay at all. Fuck this shit. Something needs to happen. I think it was Torrance Ingram that asked. Coyote Cage says, I'm a feminist and I don't believe Meg. Facts. See, you're looking at it objectively. Torrance Ingram that asked earlier, he says, what consequences will she get for lying? And probably nothing. I said it earlier, nothing. She'll get no consequences unless if Tory Lanez beats this case and he's able to file some sort of defamation case against her because so much people believed her, so much people wrote Tory Lanez off. He's been robbed of so many opportunities. He gets this, his public image is one of an abuser. He needs to do the Johnny Depp route and file a defamation case if he is innocent. Got to preface it with that, if he's innocent. But, to me, it seems like Meg is trying to save face. I think Meg fucked up. At this point, Meg just needs to slow down and
stop it. Get some help.
I would recommend that. Some therapy. But we're going to wrap this up. We have a lot to talk about. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that like button if you're not already. I mean, I fucked that up. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. But, yeah, we out. Shout out to everybody in the chat. But we wrapping this up. We got the transcripts. Y'all heard the transcripts, but we're gonna definitely research that and make sure that we source that to make sure everything is actually factual. Says, who does he sue when this is over? Sues Meg for defamation. He sues Meg for defamation. We out.